at 157 at this stage. What does that look like for you?
No, I'm not going down to 154. You know,
Okay.
I'm not going back down. I'm definitely comfortable. You know, my motto is, you know, any weight class that I ever moved up from, I never went back down. Yeah, so,
Terence Crawford has at last disclosed his upcoming career direction, assuring supporters that retirement isn't imminent while identifying his desired next opponent. During a recent interview, Crawford addressed questions regarding his future plans and whether his team had reached any decisions. Remarkably, he disclosed that his return to competition will occur in 2026, with Dimitri Bivol as his probable adversary. Given ongoing behind-the-scenes negotiations, absolutely. I'm certainly not dropping back to 154, and I won't move to 175. 160 is our current objective, and Bivol represents my focus presently. He stated that's the sole bout for establishing legacy currently.
But if you were at 168, when we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
no, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
Right, not now. At 175, yeah.
he probably can't even make 168 no more.
However, this contradicts what critics have been demanding from him after Crawford's triumph. Saudi boxing executive Turki Al proposed a possible blockbuster bout versus David Benavidez, questioning if the ex-title holder could still reach the 168-pound division limit. Benavidez had previously pursued a championship shot against Canelo within the super middleweight category, but was denied and consequently advanced to light heavyweight, while Crawford currently holds undisputed supremacy at 168 pounds. Such a contest would grant Benavidez his long-desired chance to battle for a premier championship. Experts suggest that although Benavidez holds a natural size edge, Crawford's latest showing against Alvarez establishes him as the obvious frontrunner.
He is the man right now. He's the top gun. He's, you know, I know you got him, Inoue, and Usyk. They all belong in those three. But Crawford probably just put himself on the top of the hill.
Despite Crawford's decision, many speculate that Crawford will probably call it quits. After all, he recently became the inaugural male fighter to claim undisputed titles across 3 separate divisions, has battled virtually every elite competitor within those categories, maintains a perfect professional record, and potentially earned hundreds of millions facing Canelo. Put simply, he has established everything necessary and possibly lacks remaining objectives worth pursuing. Nevertheless, considering that Crawford now represents unquestionably among boxing's premier attractions, he would forfeit substantial earnings by stepping away immediately. Not only does a profitable second encounter with Canelo remain available, but Crawford can select from numerous options when facing anyone spanning 154 pounds through 174 pounds should he choose.
When you look at these fights, you know, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, you know, say, all right, you know, how big is this dude really is? Because David Benavidez, he can fight his ass off. You know, me personally, I believe
Atlas represents one of boxing's most esteemed voices, and on a latest segment of his The Fight with Teddy Atlas program, he discussed Crawford's potential future career directions. Everything is available to him with any decision he makes, Atlas commented regarding Crawford's upcoming match. He's deserved this position. He stands as the premier fighter currently. He is the elite performer. Crawford likely established himself atop pound-for-pound rankings, apex of success, pinnacle of greatness. Now he holds complete control. He desires to drop in weight and weight. He refuses to remain at this division. He aims to descend to 160. I constantly have concerns when you add that considerable size to Bud for dropping back down, since eliminating muscle mass proves difficult, Atlas remarked about Crawford.
Top of the mountain, you know, and he's just, to the victor goes the spoils, baby. He gets to choose. He's special. He showed that. Now
he possesses intelligence. His team demonstrates exceptional wisdom ultimately. He shows shrewdness. He won't venture excessively far. He's dropping 8 pounds. He can accomplish that while avoiding physical harm to himself. Therefore, it remains entirely his decision. It appears Atlas would rather Crawford avoid returning to lighter weight categories after achieving triumph at 168 pounds. And considering he doesn't need to shed as much weight for super middleweight competition, Crawford would likely share that preference. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Ilia Topuria has been challenging Crawford for a boxing match inside the ring.
Like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
Ilia Topuria could knock out Bud Crawford on first contact. Is there any truth to it? Why is it always the MMA guys gotta go box? It doesn't sell. James Toney and the UFC lost a whole bunch of money with him. If Ilia Topuria really could beat up Terence Crawford, why didn't he go into boxing? Ilia is our champion. After seeing Conor, who could not make an amateur Olympic team go...
This occurred following another situation on Saturday evening during fight night. Topuria objected to Crawford's ring entrance using Canción del Mariachi from the movie Desperado, which Topuria also employs for his octagon walks. The 37-year-old Crawford dismissed the similarity during his post-fight press conference. However, the UFC featherweight title holder took offense and responded via social media. Initially, he labels me intoxicated. Subsequently, he enters using my entrance music, Topuria wrote in an X-platform message. Crawford, anytime you're ready, I'll demonstrate the proper mariachi movement within that ring. And Canelo, I'll handle you following his defeat.
Going out and perform tonight. I got Mexicans and Latinos on my side as well, so.
Did you know Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC?
You said what?
Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC.
Did he? Oh, good. Good for him.
Crawford not only dismissed Topuria's recent overtures, but labeled him an attention seeker who doesn't match Conor McGregor's stature. I absolutely believe he's attempting to chase clout, Crawford stated during his Monday guest spot on the Ariel Helwani program. I certainly believe he would step into that ring with me for the monetary compensation. That's our universal motivation. However, simultaneously, I'm unsure what his intentions are. I'm uncertain about his reasoning. There really isn't anything worth discussing. Crawford continued by mentioning he'd never witnessed Topuria compete and wondered why the UFC title holder remained silent about wanting to face him when they encountered each other at the UFC Performance Institute in Las Vegas several months earlier. When he spotted me at UFC headquarters, he approached to greet me and acknowledge my presence. I wasn't even aware of his identity, Crawford revealed.
Crawford stated, I don't know who he is. Ilia's mad. It works every time, and Ilia went crazy. Ilia's just, you don't know who I met you at this. When Ilia responds with truth, when he brings the receipts and the facts, that's what you do when you're angry.
You're furious. However, then, I observe him online, discussing how he'll defeat me in the opening round, along with various other claims, and now this situation. Listen, if you desired to compete against me, you possess the chance to inform me, hey buddy, I want to battle you. What's the situation? That's disingenuous. Although boxing MMA hybrid bouts have generated monetary benefits for the competitors, Crawford stated he perceives no worth in a contest with El Matador and rejected any parallels to the massive 2017 encounter between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and McGregor.
None of it. He's like,
who the f*** is that guy?
He's not on my level. He's not on Conor McGregor's level. What the hell is going on? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Jake Paul's fighting Gervonta Davis. If that can happen, or him fighting Mike Tyson, if there's a world that we live in where that can go down and get watched by millions of people on Netflix.
Conor was always willing to risk it. Ilia, I believe, is willing to risk it. Ilia versus Crawford. Am I wasting my time talking to you guys about that? Maybe not. There's not yet something here, but there's not nothing here.
Crawford's blend of velocity, precision, and defensive intelligence, combined with his demonstrated excellence across various divisions, would create substantial difficulties for any challenger. Supporters and organizers have shown tremendous enthusiasm for this potential bout, which might place among the most eagerly awaited contests of the season. Crawford's post-bout comments demonstrate both admiration for Alvarez and thoughtful evaluation of his upcoming career decisions. I need to meet with my team, and we'll discuss it, Crawford explained concerning future bouts, maintaining possibilities for major profile encounters before stepping away.
fight with the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. What you want, Canelo? What you want, Canelo?
You gotta understand, like.
But I gotta ask you, bro, because I can't, you know.
My thing is, Benavidez is a big dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not to say I won't fight him. I fought his brother. You know what I mean? His brother was big when I fought him. But, you know what I mean? Benavidez is a big.
You look at this fight. Some people would say, where the hell do you go from here? So now that you've beaten Canelo, where do you go from here?
You know, my main thing is just the rest and, you know, sit down with my family.
He represents a formidable title holder. I hold complete admiration for him. He competed like a champion tonight. We understood his intentions, those sweeping punches. He recognized my superior speed, yet he acknowledged my striking force. Concerning his personal tactics, Crawford explained precisely how he overcame the Mexican fighter. I believed I needed to create distance between us. I didn't want to engage prematurely. However, when the moment arrived, I unleashed my offense. I was observing his physical signals, elements like that, attempting to energize himself. I refused to participate in that dynamic and provide him such chances. His measured methodology allowed him to stay productive while dictating the fight's rhythm significantly. At age 38, Crawford's professional journey approaches its conclusion, though his latest triumph proves he continues performing at elite levels. A prospective clash with Benavidez would offer another chance to expand his accomplishments and solidify his position among contemporary boxing legends. Nevertheless, Crawford has declared that Bivol represents his chosen target, and that concludes our coverage presently. For premium updates regarding news, highlights, developments, and activity within boxing's landscape, maintain your connection with us through YouTube channel subscription, and remember to activate alerts for notification when we publish exceptional material such as this. Until our next meeting, farewell.